Hey guys, welcome to this SQL video. As you can see on the screen here, we have an archive list, and this list is one of all the months this particular blogger has made a post to his blog. And if we were to go inside of one of these dates, you can see every post that he's made during that month. So how do we go about replicating this? Well, we'll have a look and I'll show you. This is a list of all of the topics on a forum, and as you can see there are 890 of them. Now, let's pretend for a minute that we have a busy-ish forum. Hundreds of topics are being made every month, and as time goes on, things start to get lost in the forum. And then you remember about a topic that you started a year ago, which had some really useful information in, and you want to find that post or that particular topic. And if that's all you can remember is just when you created it, it might be difficult to find it. So we're going to have a look at the SQL queries that we would use in order to create one of them archiving lists. The first thing we need to focus on is turning this topic time here, the Unix timestamp, into something that we can read. So I'm going to write any SQL into Notepad here and then paste it in, because Notepad's easier to read than MySQL. So to begin with, what we need to do is we need to select the topic time. But just by selecting the topic time, all we're going to get back is this timestamp. Let's make this bigger. So in order to turn it into something, something a human can read, we're going to use a function known as from Unix time. So, like I said, from Unix time, and we wrap that around the topic time. So we're selecting this from the table PHP BB topics, and let's take this and just paste it into the SQL command here. When we press go, as you can see here, we have a list of all of the times in a human readable version that every topic was created. Now we want to format this date further into something more like this, and the way we do that is by wrapping another function around this from Unix time, and this function is date format. So let's wrap that around there like so. But this function requires two parameters. The first being a human readable time, which is what we've produced using the from Unix time function. And the second, we need a string which tells SQL how to output the date, just like the date function in PHP. but the expressions are different. In PHP, you'd use M and Y to get the month and the year. In this, it's similar, but not exactly the same. We're going to format this using the %sign and a capital M, which would give us a string representation of the month in full, so you'd have January, February, March, April, etc., etc. With a space after it, you want % and a capital Y. So we'll take this and just put it into our SQL. And as you can see, everything has been turned into a proper date or a proper month-year combination. So we now need to group these together so that we only have one instance of each of the month-year combinations. But we need to group it on two different clauses. We need to group it by the month and separately by the year. And if we only group it by the month, it will return the results of all of the months grouped together, and it doesn't separate it out by year. And the same thing goes for the year. If we group it by the year, it will return only the years with a random month for it. So in order to do this, we're going to use the following two SQL functions: month and year. And again, these require a human readable date, just like the date format. So we can just get rid of that. So we're going to group by, and what we need is we're going to group by the month first, and we're going to be doing it from a Unix time. Of topic time. Now if we perform this, you can see exactly what I was stating a second ago. It might help if we can spell things properly. As you can see there, it's got all 12 months, but it hasn't separated it up by the years properly. So if we come back into this, and we'll put an E on the end there. So in order to group by a second clause, all you need to do is after the first one, you put a comma, and then you put your second clause, in this case the year. And we might as well just copy this and paste it. No. Copy this and paste it in there. So we're grouping by the month and the year. So now we will get a proper list that we can use. As you can see here, we've got January of 2007 and January of 2008, February 2007 and February 2008, etc., etc., etc. All good. And this has reduced our total amount of results from 890 down to only 34, which is a step in the right direction. Now, there's only 4 more things we need to really do to this query in order to finish it off. The first one is we want to count the number of IDs that are returned. So we're going to count the topic ID and we're just going to give it an alias of count, And I'm also going to give this returned date an alias, just so it's not too big to reference to. So just in case you want to post how many, you want to display how many particular topics were created at that period, we'd use the count topic ID to get a number of topics, or the number of topics created for each of those specific periods. What we're also going to do is we're going to order by the topic time in descending format. So we'll start with the latest post, the latest dates, and it will go down to the earliest dates. Again, like you see here, the first archive is February 2012, and the last one comes all the way down to January 2002. So now if we just come here, copy that and produce the results, as you can see it goes from June and then it would go through to July 2005, and it tells you how many topics were created during that period. The last thing, or the last two things we need to do for this is to select two more specific pieces of information, and these two bits of information will allow us to filter all the correct information on the page where we display the results. And these two bits of information is the year and the month in a numeric form, and I'll show you exactly how they're used in in the next section of this video. So just like we did to produce the month-year combination, we're going to format the Unix timestamp, but we're only going to select the numeric month without the leading 0. So months 1 to 9 would not be 0, 1, 0, 2, they would just be 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And the expression to do this is the percent and a small c, and this will produce the correct month number, which you will see in a minute. And we're just going to give this an alias of month. Again, we copy and paste that, and this time we're going to take the year, and we can stick with a capital Y, and we'll take the full 4-digit representation of the year. So we copy that, put it in there, and we go. Oh, I need to remove the comma at the end there. And as you can see here, we've got the date range that we're going to actually display on the page. We've got, oh, squeaky chair. We've got the number of topics created during those periods that we might want to display on the page, and the month, as you can see, is the digital, the numeric representation without the leading 0, and the year is the full 4-digit representation of the year. So that is all we need to know, or all we need to do in order to collect all the information that we need to produce a list like this. we're going to now generate the query, which will show us a list of all of the topics created during a specific month. And the month we're going to select is, let's pick one, let's say December 2007. So the information that we need to pass over to our next query is the month and the year. So, the end of that query. So what we're going to do is we're going to select the topic title, and we're going to select the topic first poster name. So let's just put them into this query. Select the topic title and the can't see it. Topic first poster name, and just to shorten this down, we're going to give it an alias as username. So those are the only two fields we're going to select. So that's simple enough, and we're going to be selecting from our PHP topics, and this time we're going to have a where clause. So where, and we need to specify the month and the year. And like in the last query, we're going to use these two here, the month and the year functions. So if we take this and paste it in there, and we're going to have it equal 12 because we're selecting December, and we want to take the year, where the year equals 2007. And we'll again order it by topic time descending. So this will now produce a list similar to what we would get here, except we would obviously wouldn't have the post. We would just have sort of this part here and the name of the poster or the name of the topic starter. So we'll copy that, go to our SQL input here, run that query, and as you can see, we get the topic title and the username for all of the topics started in December 2007 for this particular forum. And just to prove when they were started, we will take this and just paste it in there. Oh, I don't want to save it. Just copy that, come over to our SQL, pop it in there, hit go. As you can see, we've got a topic title, our username, and the date it was created. And that's it. You now know how you'd create an archiving list for your forum or your blog or whatever else you wanted to list out. These are the two queries that you'd use. This one here is to produce the initial list of all the months and the years, and then this is how you would this is the query that you'd use to list out all of the topic titles, followed by the creator. I hope you learnt something. If you'd like to help me out, like or favourite this video, and feel free to leave any comments. And I'll see you next time.